So today I want to talk about something that's been making some serious noise in the design and development world lately, and that's Google Stitch. Now, if you have not heard about it yet, don't worry because I am going to walk you through everything you need to know about this tool. And honestly, it's pretty fascinating what Google has managed to pull off here. Alright, so let me give you some quick context before we dive into it. Google Stitch is an AI powered design tool that was launched at Google I/O 2025 earlier this year. Now, what makes this interesting is that it actually started out as a different product called Galileo AI. Google acquired it, rebranded it, and basically turned it into what we know as Stitch. The whole point of this tool is to help you go from a simple idea or a rough concept all the way to a working user interface design with actual code in just a few minutes. And I'm not exaggerating when I say a few minutes because this thing is genuinely fast once you get the hangs of it. Now, before we go any further, I should mention that Stitch is currently free to use. It's part of Google Labs, which means it's still an experimental product. Google is actively working on it and rolling out updates pretty regularly. And speaking of updates, there have been some pretty significant ones recently that I want to show you because they genuinely changed how useful this tool can be for real world projects. One of the biggest updates that came out recently is something called the multi-select feature, and this is honestly a game changer. If you are working on anything more complex than just a single screen, so here is how it works. You can hold down the shift key and click on multiple screen or canvases that you have already generated. Then you can write a single prompt and apply it to all of these screens at once. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have designed a flow that has a login screen, a dashboard, or setting page, so you can make adjustment on all these pages at once. Another feature that's really powerful is what they call Canvas version 2. This is basically an upgraded workspace that lets you generate entire user flow all at once instead of creating screens individually. So instead of prompting Stitch to make a sign up screen, then onboarding screen, then a dashboard, you can just say something like create a complete user flow for a fitness app with sign up, onboarding, workout tracker, and progress dashboard. And Stitch will actually generate all of these screens for you in one go, and it will even arrange them visually in a way that represent the flow. So instead of just seeing placeholder boxes, you will get actual photos or graphics that make the design feel more tangible and closer to a real product. Alright, so another feature that I have been using a lot is this variant tool. This one lets you generate multiple design variants of same screen without having to manually tweak things or write new prompts each time. So let's say you have created a landing page of a product and you are happy with the general structure but you want to explore different visual directions. You can just click on the screen, hit generate variants, and Stitch will create several alternate versions for you with different layouts, color scheme, and styles. Now let's talk about theming because this is one of these features that sound basic but actually save you a ton of time. Stitch has a built-in theme editor that lets you toggle between light mode and dark mode, adjust color palettes, change fonts, and even tweak corner styles like making buttons more rounded or sharper. The cool part is that these changes cascade across your entire design. Now, one feature that I think is actually pretty clever is the follow-up prompt suggestions. After Stitch generate a screen for you, it will suggest some logical next step based on what you just created. So if you made a home page, it might suggest add a pricing page or create a contact page. If you click on one of these suggestions, it will automatically extend your project with that new screen. This is great for keeping the creative momentum going because you don't have to sit there thinking about what to build next. The AI is basically guiding you through the process and helping you flesh out your ideas more quickly. Also, Stitch lets you export your design in a few different ways. You can download them as images, which is useful if you just want to share a visual mockup, but the more interesting option is exporting the code. Stitch will give you HTML and Tailwind CSS that's actually pretty clean and usable. Now, it's not going to be a perfect production ready code, but it's a solid starting point. The class names are coherent, the structure makes sense, and it's easy for a developer to take that code and refine it further. Alright, so let me quickly walk you through a demo that shows how this all comes together in practice. I'm going to create a simple app concept, let's say a travel planner with a few different screens. I will start by typing in a prompt like create a travel planning app with the home screen, destination search, and booking confirmation. Use a clean modern design with the light blue accent color. I will make sure I am in the experimental mode so I get the higher quality pro model output, and then I will just hit generate. So Stitch is processing that prompt, and within a minute or two it should give me a full set of screens. And there we go, it's created 3 screens for me with realistic images, clean layouts, and cohesive color scheme. The typography looks good, the spacing makes sense, and everything feels pretty polished right out of the gate. Now let's say I want to make some adjustment across all of these screens. I will hold shift, click on each screen to select them all, and then I will type in a new prompt, something like make all call to action buttons rounded with a darker blue color and add subtle shadows to the cards. I will send that in, and Stitch will apply those changes to every screen I selected. This is where that multi-select feature really shines because I am making consistent updates across my entire workflow without having to repeat myself. So that's a basic workflow, and honestly it's pretty impressive and how fast you can go from a rough idea to something that looks and feel like a real product. Now I will say that Stitch is not a full replacement of a professional design tool like Figma or Adobe XD. It's not meant to be, but for rapid prototyping, exploring ideas quickly, or just getting a head start on a project, Stitch is genuinely useful. It speeds up the early stages of design work by a significant amount, and it make it easier for people who are not professional designer to create something that looks decent. If you are a developer who need to mock up UI quickly, or a product manager who want to visualize an idea before handing it off to a design team, this tool can save you a lot of time. One thing that's coming soon is an annotation feature, which is going to be pretty interesting as well. Basically, you will be able to take a screenshot of a screen you have designed, annotate it with notes or markup to indicate what changes you want, and then Stitch will interrupt those annotations and update the design accordingly. That's going to make the iteration process even faster because you won't have to write out detailed prompts every time you want to tweak something. You can just draw on the screen and let the AI figure out what you want. So Google Stitch is a tool that's definitely worth checking if you are involved in any kind of product design or development work. It's not perfect and it's still evolving, but the updates that have rolled out recently make it a lot more practical for real world use. The multi-select feature, the canvas generation, the theming options, the variants, the sharing capabilities, all of these things add up to a tool that's becoming genuinely useful for moving faster and exploring ideas more freely. If you tried Stitch when it first launched and were not super impressed, I would recommend giving it another shot because it's getting a lot better. Now, if you are never tried it before, you head over to Stitch tool, sign in with your Google account and start playing around with it. It's free, it's easy to use, and you can get something up and running in just a few minutes. Alright, that's it from the video. Let me know in the comments if you have used Stitch or if you have any thoughts on AI design tool in general. I'm really curious to hear what you all think about where this stuff is headed. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video. And I will see you in the next one.